Hey, I'm Cheap Scott. Over the past few years, Star Wars has experienced a renaissance, for better or worse. Film, television, literature, theme parks, Disney has spared no expense since they bought the rights back in 2012. Even video games have seen a rebirth. Many fans look fondly back on the days of X-Wing, TIE Fighter, Racer, Rogue Squadron, and Battlefront, games that bring them back to feeling like a kid again. Now with new titles like Jedi Fallen Order, a completely revamped Battlefront franchise, and the newest edition, the Star Wars Squadrons space sim, the nostalgia factor is riding high. But I can't help but wonder, is Star Wars Squadrons going to survive? Will there be enough of a player base for me to find a match in 6 months? If that? Just with a glimpse at the latest analytics provided by Steam charts, a prospective player may be concerned, especially at a $40 price point, that this game's longevity may be at risk. Like any game, Squadrons has problems, some big, some small. If they're tended to, I can see a long, healthy future for this game. If not, well, the game is doomed. Squadrons has been live for about a month and a half as of this recording. On Steam, the space sim is garnering about 1,000 to 2,000 users on average, a significant drop from launch where the player base was over 20,000. Massive issues plagued the first weeks of the game. Among various bugs, the headliner was that competitive ranks and fleet battles were malfunctioning. Players could win all 10 of their placement matches, but were relegated to the lowest rank with a score of 0. Following matches yielded the same results. Their ranks simply would not move, regardless of how well they fared. While the rank issues have been resolved, with the game developer motive going so far as to reward players with a hefty sum of in-game currency and allowing any and all to reset their rank, it may have been too late. The competitive season, dubbed an operation, commenced right when the game launched. These operations last 8 weeks before a new season begins and everyone starts fresh. Well, the rank patch didn't come in until about the halfway point. By that time, arguably, a good chunk of players that bought the game on launch, envisioning themselves as an ace pilot weaving through the vacuum of space, pew-pewing every noob that approached them, might have soured to the idea of coming back, doing their placements again, and probably facing tougher opponents, being those who stuck around, becoming seasoned veterans of space combat. Myself, I'm a dogfight pleb. I like to pub stomp, get cool clips, and have a fun time streaming it on Twitch. Some people thoroughly enjoy fleet battles, and I respect that. For me, I like the fact that there's a casual, unranked mode in dogfights that doesn't take too much of my time or effort. Maybe I'm old-fashioned, but that's what games should be. Too often nowadays, gamers are expected to work for success, to devote hours and hours of fine-tuning their mechanics to get good at a game. Yes, there is a learning curve, and the first few missions of the campaign, as well as some practice modes, do a decent job of introducing new players to the flight controls. Not many people are instantly good at a game, especially if you're context switching from the likes of an Apex or a Call of Duty, or even a Battlefront, to something like Squadrons, a flight sim. It'll take a little bit of time to acclimate yourself, but it can be fun. Mechanically, this game is solid. After educating yourself on ship maneuvering, power management, and targeting, this game feels intuitive. And the full-featured compatibility with HOTAS and VR take the immersion to a whole new level. Yes, I said immersion. A lot of reviews talk about this, a lot of reviews champion the VR experience, but when I look at this game from a business perspective, I have to think, was this game just a VR experiment? Virtual reality games are still few and far between, and even fewer are implemented well. Has this been a way for EA to test the proverbial VR waters using a crazily popular IP in Star Wars to drive interest? And let's not ignore the price point, especially for an EA title. They own the rights to Battlefield, Madden, FIFA, and of course the rest of the Star Wars games. $40 isn't something you'd expect coming from such a big name. EA has said that Squadrons doesn't have the breadth of some of their other games. Squadrons' creative director has stated that the game will have 0 microtransactions and that it is not being built around a live service strategy. From a longevity standpoint, this worries me. Software development for a project of this scale is not something that can be reworked overnight. If the plan was to ship the game as it is now and support it for a period of time with bug fixes, a paradigm shift to a microtransaction-based live service would take months to implement. Perhaps Motive is already working on something, but with the aforementioned public statements, especially in the context of a call to EA shareholders, I don't foresee anything major happening anytime soon. I want so badly for Squadrons to have a flourishing player base with rewards and evolving content that keep people coming back, but the truth of the matter is, The game launched with 6 maps, 4 ship classes between both sides of the Empire and New Republic, a handful of character models to choose from, accompanied by an okay-sized but by no means overwhelming amount of cosmetics with which you can flare up your ship and dress up your character. With the premiere of the new season of The Mandalorian on Disney+, Squadrons dropped a new content pack for players to work toward. There were a few things you could add to your cockpit, but people only seem to care about the Baby Yoda bobblehead, myself included. Still, I don't see this being a pattern for Squadrons. This looks more like a promotional tie-in rather than a foundation for upcoming periodical cosmetic add-ons. The fact that players can earn enough of the endgame currency by level 40, or even sooner in a lot of cases to acquire the cosmetics and the ship upgrades they desire, may leave a lot of them burnt out after a while. In a modern gaming world of leveling up to get the next reward from an ocean of cosmetics to select, Squadrons dances to a different beat. Some may revel in this, and it certainly is a fresh approach. I just feel that a lot of gamers today have adjusted to the microtransaction battle pass driven life marketed by the battle royale genre. Look at Rocket League even, a game that came out 5 years ago. It's still one of the most popular titles today, and I think a lot of that had to do with the transition from a pay-to-play to a free-to-play model supplemented by a seasonal pass with unlockable items. Squadrons may very well do this at some point if EA allows it, but that's the thing. Will EA care? Squadrons is a niche game. A good game, mind you, but it's not designed for everyone. And if you're playing this game holding out for the chance to someday fly in a Naboo starfighter or a TIE Defender, you might be out of luck. I think what we see here is ultimately what we're going to get. Despite the prospects of new content, or lack thereof, Squadrons is a masterfully crafted dogfighting space sim that makes you feel part of a galaxy far, far away. But here's something for you to think about. Take this game exactly how it is right now. The same ship mechanics, class selection, map choices, the fleet battles and the dogfighting modes. But strip out all of the Star Wars lore. Take out all the Star Wars branding. It's just a generic space sim. Would you think about playing this game? If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and slap that like button, subscribe, and catch me live on Twitch, Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. The link is in the description. Chat with me while I play games, tell me why I'm wrong, hang out, have a good time. See ya!